I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. Hi, I'm Rick Dancer. We're about to set off on a little adventure. Just you, me, my wife, the Chevy Tahoe, 2 bikes, and the Sony DVD cam. We're going to Wallowa County. That's the most northeastern county in the state of Oregon. You know that little section that sticks out into Idaho? This is it on a map right here, Wallowa County, right there. Now, I did call ahead and warn some of the folks that were coming. We're going to be here for 6 nights, and then we'll bring it back and boil it down into 30 minutes. Ready to go? Few people simply pass through Wallowa County. It's not a highway to any place else, but a road to a particular destination. A part of Oregon many valley dwellers have heard of, but few have experienced for themselves. Pictures, video, and the interviews you will see can entice you, but in person, Wallowa County will connect you.
I really don't think that there's been a new stick-built house built in Lostane in probably 40 years.
Small slow traffic as visitors make their way to the end of the pavement, to the very edge of Oregon. Those who live here will fight to keep it this way. Slightly touched, underdeveloped, wild, and unknown.
No, we're very clannish. We don't come to visit, that's fine, but don't.
A county with not one stoplight. Not one. Fast food, not welcome either.
People here don't want fast food. The local restaurants, everybody has their favorite. And they don't branch out a lot.
What is Wallowa County? Who lives here?
What you see is around here.
Who stays in this land commonly known as Switzerland of America. 3,152 square miles of craters, prairie, hillsides, rivers, and those mountains. 7,220 folks call this county home. That's fewer than live in the city limits of Cottage Grove.
I've lived here all my life and been what you call a hillbilly all my life.
Not everyone is a self-proclaimed hillbilly. Most, simple, independent people.
I think the pace of life here, it's kind of kicked back, not very frantic, you know.
Small towns? You bet.
For me, it's still the lifestyle, the surroundings, and the people. I just enjoy it here.
A place where wide open space is more important than a savings account. A spot you eke out a living, much like those before you did.
I do odd jobs for people. I've kind of quit doing that.
Few complain. It's the cost of living here. Wallowa Lake brings the tourists, always has. Legends of a monster 180 feet long living at the bottom of that lake, not enough to scare people away. First sighting, 1885. The last, later. Quiet for now. As we visit the different towns, you will hear reoccurring themes.
I live in that subdivision up there, and we got a bunch of outsiders moved in there. I can't say that I'm happy about the situation at all.
Don't be offended.
What do you think of liberals?
Not too good.
Those mountains, this land, worth protecting. But keep your ideas to yourself.
What do you think of environmentalists?
Ooh, we don't like environmentalists.
The old, the new, protected, guarded by tradition and those mountains. Wallowa County, the not-so-wild West, the edge of Oregon.
We're at the end of the road. We're at the end of the road.
It's a place you come back to. One last thing I want to remind you about is Rick Dancer Media Services. We do a lot of things, everything from social media to videos for YouTube, videos for our show, videos for your website. We can produce a show from your location. Give us a call, we're really reasonable, and we want to get the message out and help you. And so give me a call, my phone number is right there on the screen, or go to my website, rickdancer.com or rickdancer.tv, and let me know what we can do for you, and let's chat. When you drive through Wallowa, the first town as you cross the county, no, this is rural Oregon. 800 people live in this town.
Wallowa. Wallowa, you learn that when you first come here.
Kathy Shoemaker is a newcomer, moved here from Lake Tahoe, bought the pizza/video store on Main Street.
Don't get too close. A slower lifestyle. Lake Tahoe, a lot of tourists, busy, busy, busy all the time.
Debbie Lind is also a newcomer. Oh, by the way, if you don't have a few generations connected to Wallowa County, you're a newcomer.
It's jeans and boots and, you know, nothing real fancy. You don't have to have a tux.
Debbie works at the pharmacy.
We cannot buy underwear here. If you want underwear, you go to Deb's and Enterprise or Walmart, an hour away.
There's a high school, the Main Street, some cool shops in town, but not a lot to make a tourist stop and stay. That can be a problem if you own a business.
We have a lot of traffic going from here through to Joseph, which is the touristy town. And can I say this? No one here wants it to become a town, but we have so much traffic going through, we just need them to stop and patronize our businesses and buy a few things, and we're happy with that to keep going and keep our simple way of life.
Judy Taylor opened a tea shop. Great place, lots to offer. Getting folks to stop, easy.
You know, we have the railroad here now, and they do the excursion trains. That's drawn a lot of people to here, but they go on the excursion trains and they leave to go and spend their money somewhere else because there's anything else here to do that.
The library, you already got the library?
This group of ladies is doing its best to sell the town to me, so I'll sell it to you. But how do you market simplicity?
When I first moved here, I needed a tomato. And so I walked downtown thinking I could get a tomato. But everything closed up at 7, so you want a tomato, you got to get it before 7.
And what do you do when others in town don't want change, don't want people, don't want tourists?
I would say it's maybe half and half.
You've got a problem.
They're afraid it's going to get too big and they're not going to enjoy being here anymore, and it's going to be overrun with too many people and they won't get to relax and fish in their favorite spot by themselves.
Trade-offs to progress? Is it? No one's quite sure, so they hold. Just down the road a bit is a place called Lostine. Not Lostine, but Lostine. Not a lot here.
You got one tavern and you got one grocery store and you got a post office. That's all we need.
Tell me your name and your nickname.
Lowell D. Armin, and my nickname is Shark.
So I gotta ask you, why do they call you?
Okay, they call me Shark because back when I was logging, they pinned that name on me and it stuck.
Shark, an unofficial town crier.
It's a tiny little town, we love it.
Don't forget the Blue Banana Espresso Shop. You can't miss it. You won't forget it. Coffee's darn good too.
We love it here. This is just home.
M. Crow and Company is a constant in Lostine. It's been here 100 years. The same family started it. Yeah, that's them. Well, it's just a picture.
It's an easy existence, easy way of life. People are who they seem to be. There's no pretense.
That's Keith Bird. He's family. Marriage to the picture people. The store feels like it's an episode of Back to the Future.
98, 94. I think I'll just give you 100 if that's okay.
Political posters on the wall as if the race were still on. Empty seats around the store are filled in the morning. Guys talking about stuff. Don't need a guy like me in these parts. Everybody's a reporter here.
Anybody that employs 20 or 30 people is a major employer around here.
Locals can go 30 days without a nickel on them. Don't need it. The store doesn't take Visa, MasterCard, or debit, whatever that is. It's credit the old-fashioned way, on a ledger card.
They're beginning to put in the services real soon here. There's a 10-acre subdivision that's going to have 10 5-acre parcels to it. And if we're going to have a boom, this is probably the big one.
Bringing city folk in, not a popular arrangement in these parts.
Growth? It's a big, scary word.
Well, they try to bring their city ways with, and then they try to tell us how to live and what to do. Don't like it.
In a place where a 14-year-old can still ride her horse through town and doesn't need a plastic bag to pick up the mess after the horse, city ways are a threatening option.
All they see is asphalt. They don't know crap from wild honey, and they're just city folks. Can't say I'm crazy about them.
Self-service goes out the door when too many people come to town. Lostine likes things just the way they are. A place where tractors parked on Main Street won't attract a look. Lostine.
It's such a kind of a unique area that people just have to come see, but it's not on the way to anywhere. You can't get anywhere else from here without, diving off in a canyon somewhere. And I've joked about it for a long time that the pavement kind of does stop here.
But not quite. We've got a couple of miles to go after the break. If every county needs a biggest town, in northeastern Oregon, this is it. Enterprise. Not only is it the largest town in Wallowa County, it's the place with the most history, and people are trying to save every bit of it.
Enterprise is a wonderfully intact historic town.
In the late 1800s,
Enterprise at that point was nothing but a plat map.
Developers convinced those plotting the map to give them some land and create what is today Enterprise. Jack McLaren's watched builders cut the quarried Bulby stone to construct the centerpiece of town, the county courthouse.
The real strong voice in Enterprise is they want to protect what they have in an authentic way.
The old buildings, many made of the same stone, line the streets today. Enterprise is consistent. 2002 people live here.
That population of 2002 has stayed consistent, relatively consistent, since the 1920s.
When you move to Enterprise, bring the job with you.
People want to come to Wallowa County, but there's nothing to do. There's no industry. Art, government, farming, ranching, that's pretty much it.
Folks in this part of the state are feeling pressure to grow. As Central Oregon gets more crowded, explorers venture northeast to find this place. People here are afraid of growth, though, aren't they?
I think so.
You don't want to become Ben.
No. At the same time, we're also concerned about our economic future.
So they plan carefully, resisting the temptation to recreate.
Protecting what we have, not trying to become something we're not.
Earl McLaughlin understands the balance between preservation and recreation. He lives a few miles outside of Enterprise.
This is my workshop, my area where I do the restorations.
When weather permits, Earl farms cereal grain.
From basically the 1st of November till the 1st of April, there's not much going on the farm with no livestock.
To fill his time, in 1983 he bought his first tractor.
I just have an intense desire to collect some of the old farm implements and try to preserve some of our heritage.
33 tractors later.
Well, I've probably got 3 or 4 buildings that are pretty full of stuff, you know.
His obsession includes more than tractors.
Well, it's part of our heritage, you know. It's part of the foundations of this country, the agricultural industry.
His tractor restorations are impeccable. But for some of his collection, authenticity requires a fair amount of rust and moss.
It took 130 years for it to get on there, and in a couple days you could take it off. Yeah, and it just makes the stuff look natural. Yeah.
Farmers are his detectives. They hear about an old piece of equipment and give him a call. Sometimes Wallowa County seems so close. Okay, now this shows you what a small world we live in. I'm in Enterprise, Oregon, in the northeast of Oregon, talking to a farmer I've never met before. He tells me he bought this tractor right here from my neighbor in Camp Creek in Springfield from Bobby Fisher. There's something about Earl and those trying to preserve the history of Enterprise, Oregon that truly matters. Sometimes we think we have to save the world to make an impact, but you don't. You find the thing that makes you come alive and you do it. Whether it's saving a tractor or an old building in Enterprise, history will repeat itself. Wouldn't it be nice if it had an old friend to return home to? We'll be right back.
Hannah, come on. My mom just called.
I'm gonna stay with my friends. My mom's picking me up later.
Fine.
Who's that? Nothing. Is that him? It's nothing.
You know, it's kind of creepy that he's texting you over and over again. He knows it. He knows you're with us. Hannah, I'm really worried about you. I really think we should tell someone. Is it a phone or a leash? Hannah, I'm really worried about you.
Nestled beneath the majesty of the Wallowa Mountains is the county's most famous town.
I love the mountains and the cool air and the people, both the natives and the new people.
Judy Botham was born and raised in Joseph.
From the time that I grew up here until now, the change is so different, but the world market is different.
Joseph is the tourist attraction in Wallowa County, the town and the lake nearby. It wasn't much of a town until the bronze foundries came in. Now it's quite commercial, attracting artists from all over the world. Some locals think Joseph is just too much.
They think we're quite commercial, and there is some of that, but then there's also being able to make a living in a beautiful place that you want to live.
Joseph attracts newcomers like Nancy Holen.
Well, I work 2 jobs. I get paid for one. It's a very prominent thing around here.
In Wallowa County, you work to pay for your habit, which is living beneath those great mountains.
For me, I wouldn't be somewhere that didn't have mountains.
Nancy works part-time waiting tables. The rest of the time, she and her partners roast coffee under the name Motley Brew.
Our most popular one is called Grizzly Whip, and we've had some fun with that.
Not bad for a former cop. Setting up shop in Joseph comes with its difficulties. Remember, around here, until you've got generations to back you, you are not a local.
It's hard to get people to use your stuff. You know, you're a new company, they don't know you or anything about you, and of course we weren't from here either, so we weren't locals.
The grocery store sells the Motley Brew coffee, and so do some of the bed and breakfasts. In the meantime, the crew will just keep grinding away at the brew.
We're ready, set, go.
Back downtown, Judy Botham says people in Wallowa County are just afraid of change. She's had to change. Her husband, J. Shirley Botham, was a bronze sculptor. His work is all over the world. One sculpture sits just a block or 2 from where she works. But a few years ago, Shirley died. His chair sits at the cemetery, looking at the view he loves so much, those mountains. Judy couldn't refuse change. Death will do that to you. Trade-offs, the big picture. She says people would do better to take the focus of the future off of themselves and onto the greater good.
It's going to happen. And that's just progress, but there can be progress with favor and class.
Joseph, Oregon, the place of winding rivers. Down the road a bit, around a bend or two, deep below the canyon wall, is our final stop. The pavement ends here. Okay, this morning we're in Imnaha. Now that's 3 syllables, Imnaha. You have to say it that way or people in town will laugh at you. Right behind me, that's the tavern and the store. And everybody tells me if you want to know what's going on in this town, you got to go to the unofficial town council. It's a bunch of old guys who meet here every morning and have coffee. So we're going to go in and see if they'll talk to us this morning.
She brings the whole gunny sack full of stuff down by the time to come.
No, I haven't talked to her. Her mouth gets her in trouble all the time.
Bill, Hank, Doc, Alizar, Rich, Weldon, Bob, and Roland. This is the think tank of Imnaha.
This store, see, this is a lot older than I am. And this store was originated, back in late 1800s, see.
Heather Tansey's folks own the tavern.
This is it. There's nothing else really. This is mostly what people come to see.
Yep, this is what you call tourism in Imnaha.
On my carpal tunnel if it gets to bother me.
The board of directors, or whatever they are, talk politics, road closures, and who done what. They don't solve the world's problems, but they talk about them.
They're all so friendly and they just, everybody knows everybody. And they're just really nice, and it's nice to have people who care.
Bye, guys.
Weldon Witherite is 79.
I came back because I grew up here and I like it down here.
He still picks up odd jobs. Everybody in Imnaha does. It's just what you do.
No hustle bustle. That's the thing I like about it. And it's just a good place to live, I think. Good place to live, they pack you off.
When I'm coming down this canyon here, I mean, it's like, I get about halfway down, it's like going into a different world. I mean, to me, this is Shangri-La.
Alizar Holiday is 69. He belongs in Eugene, trust me. He's at home in Imnaha.
Here, it's pretty much the old pioneering spirit, you know. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. I might not agree with it, but you're welcome to your opinion, you know.
Alizar makes electric, cuts wood, mows the lawn, you know, stuff like that.
Since then. They primarily want, you know, let us do our thing down here, leave me alone.
There is a school, K through 8, 9 kids. Everybody over here could use more kids in the school. When the pavement ends, 24 miles of gravel road begin. This is the way you go to the Hat Point. They say it's narrow and steep. What a ride. What a view. Unbelievable, nerve-wracking, amazing. Well, we made it. That was an hour and 15 minutes, and we're at the top of the mountain. Hat Point, I'm going to show it to you, is right behind me right there. There's a lookout tower, and now we're going to go up there and look out into Hell's Canyon for the very first time. Wallowa County is indeed a hidden jewel in Oregon's already spectacular array of scenery. We've never seen anything like it. But like most places you visit in Oregon, it's the people who really make these remote corners of Oregon what they are. The way it used to be, the way it should be.
Slight contraction, roll up, and then control on the way down. Very good control.
So we just opened this in May. We have a lot of PT patients who go to the gym, they get injured, they come to us, we help them, they go back to the gym, they re-injure themselves. We are using this as a nice transition. We incorporate it into our PT treatment.
It helps me with my posture and it helps me with my body, and when I'm doing other things I do it more correctly than I would have.
Lay down into those abs and come back down.
People get hurt much less this way because they're doing things correctly, because they're being instructed very specifically how to do things correctly, engaging their core, using the best possible form they can with every movement. When people don't know how to use the machines correctly, even if they think they do, they're often using compensation patterns.
I was always really strong and able to muscle through everything. What I didn't know is that I was doing a lot of things with poor form.
Mid back, very nice.
I didn't know that I was injuring myself, and I was, and I did, and I've been in PT for a while now.
So give me good posture.
Our sessions with the trainers are 60 minutes. 60 minutes is plenty of time to get a very substantial workout.
Between the trainers and the equipment that we have, it doesn't allow me to muscle through things anymore.
People come in and rehab from an injury and they go back to the gym and they don't know how to do things properly.
Weight training builds muscle. You also burn fat, lose weight, can help balance hormones.
It's not just about being a high-level athlete. It's just about being a functional person from young age to middle age to older age.
It improves your cardiovascular capacity and it improves your overall energy and your health.
Being able to hike and being able to enjoy the kind of activities that you want to do throughout your life.
Besides all of these awesome weights, we have Coraline equipment, and between the weight training and using those other pieces of equipment, it changes lives. We are on the corner of East 11th and Ferry in the same building as the Oregon Community Credit Union. We have 5,500 square feet.
This we utilize for some of our physical therapy clients, but it's also for people who aren't clients of ours and currently and aren't going through physical therapy. Anybody in the public can come in here and work with one of our personal trainers.
So it's just one more way for us to help you to get back to living the life you love.
Good job. Thanks.
Every place we visited in Wallowa County said, come and visit. We want you to visit, but we don't want you to stay. So that's it for this special, and we're gonna go. But we will be back. Oh, I forgot something. You guys are coming with me. Turn it more this way. Is it still straight? Is it running? I am Rick Dancer. We're taking you to Wallowa County. It's the northwestern. Let me show it to you here on a map. Oh, except we got a car. We're about to take you on a little, oh, I'm moving out of the camera. We're going to We're about to take, because I forget. If I keep talking, I forget. We're staying here for 6 days, and then we'll boil that down into 30 minutes for you to see what it was like. And that truck just screwed up our whole thing.